Happy lunch hour, gang. All right. Anybody have a guess as to what the most consumed food is in the United States in all its forms? Stop and think for a second. Place your guesses before I give you the answer. It's corn. Okay. Most of you guys probably got that right. You can figure it out real quick. Some might have said wheat. Some might have said soybeans. Both of those are relatively close, but corn is the biggest winner. Drive through any rural area in, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Indiana, Southern Illinois, yada, yada, yada. And chances are you're going to see one of two crops growing, corn or soybeans. Why? Because it's the most needed. It's the most eaten. There we go. That's the word. And you think about it, it's a corn oil or corn meal corn ethanol. Not that we eat ethanol, but, turn corn into whiskey, right? Whole lot of uses for corn. Imagine all of a sudden, corn was gone, that we had a massive corn shortage. How would that affect your life? Maybe you don't use corn oil. Maybe the only time you have corn is in your barbecues in the summer, corn on the cob or something. Oh, I don't know. Have a Coke lately? Corn syrup, It's a staple in our diet. I'm not saying it's good. Okay, high fructose corn syrup, they're trying to get rid of it, but you start looking at all the ways we eat it. In an SHTF event, you're not going to be able to, most people at least, have bread unless you have wheat berries stored or unless you have flour stored, and that's only going to last so long because not many of us really have the capabilities of growing wheat, enough of it, to make bread. So, just like our ancestors here, corn wound up the grain, if you will, that we made our bread out of. If you look at Mexico, for example, why do you think tacos are the sandwich of choice as opposed to a loaf of bread? Because corn was more abundant. But now imagine that is gone. And I know there's people that say, never happen, right? That the main staple food would disappear. Tell that to Russia today, okay? Russia is facing a significant potato shortage to the point where Vladimir Putin came out and acknowledged it just a couple of days ago. They have such a shortage that the prices have gone up almost triple, 166.5%, okay? It's now to the point where Russia is trying to buy potatoes, get this, from Belarus, you get that, okay, but from Egypt. Do you ever think they were growing potatoes in Egypt? All right. The reason they're having such a problem, officially, is because of unseasonable frosts and a prolonged drought last year. Okay, it's been cold. Mrs. P was showing me pictures of Russia on Memorial Day where there was snow on the ground. It ain't going to get a whole lot better this year. Okay, but imagine that the main staple crop of the United States had the same issue. And all those things that you eat, use, enjoy aren't available. Because, a cold snap goes through the Great Plains, or flooding, or a bunch of tornadoes. All of those things are very, very possible. It's imagine the same thing, every area in the world has a main crop. Imagine Asia, China, Japan, Korea, Philippines, yada, with no rice, right? I mean, give you this. We grow a lot of rice in Arkansas, of all places, okay, that we export to China. Did you know that? Okay. What happens when they can't get that rice because they have a bad year? These are reasons why you need to kind of look forward, why you need to see what's going on in other places in the world and go, what if that happened here? I mean, how could Russia be out of potatoes? Oh, I don't know. Why don't you ask the Irish? You know, the Irish potato famine, where, I mean, granted, this was, 150 some odd years ago, but when tens of thousands of people died, okay, why don't you ask, well, I guess that's not the same, but I was going to say the Holodomor, but that was more starving the people out rather than natural conditions. But, and I did a video on that a couple of years ago, which is a possibility as well. Because what happens here in the United States when all of a sudden corn gets very expensive or there's a very, very limited supply of it? Do you think you're on the list to get your ears of corn? Or do you think Jeff Bezos or Lindsey Graham or Chuck Schumer are going to get the first ears of corn for their holiday barbecue when they put their cheese on their raw hamburger? Right? Yeah. This is why so often I make the comment about make a plan of what you're going to plant. I've got sweet corn in the freezer from last year, from 2 years ago. No problem, it's still good. This year I'm growing dent corn. A lot of it too. Why? Because I can grind it up, crack it, and have it to make whatever I want. If I want to make grits, if I want to make cornmeal, if I want to distill it, I can. Okay. But think of anything like that. Imagine the number one food that the country eats disappears. Look what happened to beef. Okay. We can't get Mexican beef because of some sort of parasitic worm that it's in. We have tariffs all over the place on getting meat from, say, Brazil. We have a big problem with the amount of cattle in the American supply. We have wolves killing off cattle in California left and right. Yeah, what happens to the food supply? Beef is the number one meat we eat. There's a problem. Corn is the number one vegetable we eat. There's a problem. What's your solution? Okay, if I can't eat beef, sure, there's chicken or pork or venison or squirrel for that matter if I have to, right? Anybody could do that. But, well, you can raise chickens. You better be replacing them as fast. You can't eat a chicken a week or a chicken a day for dinner without having a large flock of chickens. You know, how much meat you get off of a deer, for example. Depending on how many people you're feeding, that might last you a month. Okay? You know, gonna get a squirrel every day for that little amount of meat, or a rabbit? Yeah, it's a lot of time. So now you go back to what our ancestors did too, was they ate a lot of vegetables. And Sunday was the day you had meat, right? You've all heard, probably a lot of you have family that could tell you that story, that it was vegetable stews and vegetable soups and all sorts of stuff throughout the week. And on Sunday was your big meal, where that was when we ate the rabbit, or that was when we ate the chicken. That was it. But what happens now when the main protein source and your main vegetable source that, again, is used for so many things, disappears. Don't think it can't happen. It's going on right now. And while some people may say, well, gee, you know, it's because all the farmers got drafted to go to the military. All right, there's a possibility of some of that. But unlike what the liberals will tell you, I can certainly say that women are perfectly capable of planting and harvesting potatoes too. So that ain't it. You know, don't give me this, oh, they can't do it, blah, 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 it's got to be done by a man. Well, sorry, you know, you believe in feminism. I guess that meant you believe in planting and harvesting too. It can happen. You need to pay attention to this stuff and go, maybe, you know what? Maybe I should plant some of that too for storage. It's all fun when you've got tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers in the ground and you can go eat fresh out of the garden. But winter comes too. And you're not going to eat the tomatoes and you're not going to eat the peppers, and cucumbers don't store well. Okay. Pickles, yes, but that's about it. You need those other items that you grow. Plan accordingly. Have a good one. Pinball out.